Hey, tribe. Today we're talking all about boundaries with your spouse and significant other. So let's dive in. So let's dive in. I know that when we think about boundaries, we think about putting up these walls, building a fence around us. What's that thing? A moat, building a moat around us. But that's not what we mean when we're talking about boundaries here. When I consider boundaries as limitations that we set so that we can have enjoyable and effective relationships with others. And we definitely want to have the greatest relationship that we can with our spouse. We've already talked about how to set boundaries for ourselves during this holiday season. So if you have not seen that yet, I'm going to put that here. And you can go ahead and watch that first before you watch this one, because this one kind of piggybacks off of that one. We're going to be building up as we go through this. So you want to make sure that you check out that video first. But in this one, we want to talk about boundaries with our spouse and significant other. These are our partners in life and they need to be treated as such, right? We don't want to treat them like somebody off the street or putting up this wall where we're not talking to them and we're not expressing ourselves the way we need to, because who better to express ourselves to than our significant others? They are the ones that we can and should be naked before. They should know every little thing about us because this is our spouse, right? But my point that I'm trying to make is that you should not be holding back when it comes to your spouse. They need to know exactly, number one, what is your capacity during this season? Because depending on what you've experienced throughout life, your spouse is there to support you. And they can't be a support system if we are putting up this wall and we're saying, no, don't touch this. I don't want to talk about it. It's okay. Or all of the things that we normally say, or just putting up a block and acting like it doesn't bother us. That is not the way that we have healing. And that's not the way that we grow closer together when we are in relationship. So you want to, number one, make sure that you're telling your spouse, what is your capacity? What can you handle during this season? Especially during a season of loss, we want to make sure that we are tightening ourselves together and making sure that we are coming closer to each other so that we may be supported. So if you don't have the capacity to deal with family this year, you need to say that. Our spouses are not mind readers. I know I'm not. I need you to be very specific with me. Use your words because that's what I understand. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you're using your words and let your spouse know what it is that your capacity is this year. You may be able to stay a little longer in some places. You may need to just be like, you know what? I just need a little time for myself. I'd rather you go. Please let the family know that it's nothing personal, but this is just how I feel. You need to make room for your spouse to be able to support you in this time. So let your spouse know what your capacity is. And also, don't be afraid to say no to some things and let your spouse know why. Other people don't need to know why, but let your spouse know why so that they can support you. So maybe they can bring you a plate back or whatever it is that they need to do. They may want to say no too. So y'all probably in the same boat and they don't want to do it either. They just looking for a way out. So let them know also what your no is, and let them know what your yes is as well. If you want to go see holiday lights or you just want to hang out, let them know. Again, they are not mind readers. So make sure that you are sharing what your no is as well as your yes. And while we're also talking about capacity, you also want to let them know how can you be supported at different functions and family events or even work events. Because I know when I worked in corporate around this time of year, we were having holiday parties that were not optional. They were mandatory, essentially. And, you want to be able to tell your spouse, like, look, I need you to hold my hand right here. I need you to put your hand in the small of my back. I need you to have my back. If I get out of pocket, I need you to pull my coattail and pull me back because, sometimes we have our vices and we don't want to fall into our vices when it comes to things that make us uncomfortable. So we want our spouse to be there so that they are making us comfortable as well. So let them know how they can support you at different events. If that means leaving early, If you're having a ball and you want to stay a little bit later, they need to know that as well. But we also, while we're thinking about ourselves, we want to think about our spouse as well. So make sure that you are doing the same things for them. What is their capacity this year? Ask them, baby, how can I support you this year? What is it that I can do for you to make this easier? Sometimes we got to swallow our pride and do some things that we don't want to do. And I don't mean like, going places where we're not wanted, but sometimes it's like, if he want to stay longer, let him stay longer. Let him go ahead and enjoy himself. You know what I mean? Just the same as you would want that for yourself, you want that for your spouse as well. So make sure that you're asking them as well, what is your capacity? How can I help you just as you've helped me? How can I be a support system to you in this season? Because we need each other. Because at the end of the day, when the kids grow up and they leave and cleave with their spouse, if they choose to, it is still y'all two left together. So you want to make sure that you're building your relationship. And on that note, make sure that you are spending intentional time with each other. I know, especially with children, it's easy to get caught up in the kids, making sure the kids are happy, making sure they are having great memories during the holidays. But the truth is, as I've said, they are going to leave and cleave. We are to train them up in the way that they should go. But also, we need some private time with our spouse. I don't know about y'all, but baby, I need some time with my man. Okay. So make sure that you are spending some private time with each other, because you both need that to fill your cup up as well. We want to fill each other's cup up. So we have to do activities. Don't neglect, date night. Don't neglect the time that you spend with each other, even if all you do is shut the door of the bedroom, lock that mug when everybody go to sleep. Spend some time and watch a movie, or just sit up talking, journaling together, do a paint night, have a glass of wine and chat, whatever it is that you and your spouse or significant other do. Make sure that you don't stop doing that. You need to continue to spend that time with each other so that your relationship can continue to build and be stronger, so that when you do have to come up against the woes of life, whatever that may be, that you can stand strong and that the wind don't knock you down. Because a lot of times that happen around this time of year too, is that people be people, and is what I call it. And people, sometimes they are bitter and they will come in and they be peopling around you, and you don't want to take that in and then take that mess home, because that's not the nature of your relationship with your spouse. You want to make sure that your relationship is staying strong. So say the things that need to be said, discuss the things that need to be discussed between you two. That's not for your auntie and your uncle or whoever, your homeboy, your homegirl, and all that stuff to know. You need to first communicate with your spouse and make sure that you are keeping your relationship strong, because that's what we are here to do. This is why we said yes, right? It wasn't just for no wedding. It wasn't just for, to be cute and stuff like that and be flashy on whatever social media that y'all use. Look, I'm older. I don't really use all that much social media, so I ain't gonna throw no names out there. But I'm just saying, make sure that you are building your relationship with your life partner, your spouse, in this season. So I hope that these tips were helpful in building your boundaries with your spouse. On the next video, we will be talking about boundaries with family and friends. Now, we are going to take a little break in between. If you are just watching the series through, you're going to go on to the next one. But for those of you who are watching this in real time, we are going to take a little break. I'm going to do some vlogging. We're going to have a little fun, and then we're going to get right back to it. But again, as I've said in the previous video, make sure that you are considering these things. The reason why I'm spacing these videos out is because I really want you to spend time on them and to consider what I'm saying and how it can help you in your personal life, because that's what Impact and Results is all about. I really want you to enjoy life and to have fulfillment while you're doing it, because that's what this life is all about. It's not just about us getting what we want, but for us to serve others. And when we serve others well, it's because we have served ourselves well. So I hope that you are considering these things. If you need to bust out that journal and press rewind and start it all over, go right ahead. I welcome you to it. And don't forget to share these videos with people that you know who need to hear these things, that you want to see them grow in their lives. And I want to tell you, if you receive this because someone shared it with you, it's because they love you, they care about you, and they want you and your spouse to grow as well. So I hope that these tips were helpful. I love you guys to life. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.